What up? We're here doing rear end things. So, update on the Smokems. The Smokems engine is about to get put together.
Very soon.
We're gonna show you the whole entire engine. We're gonna put it together, but we got a wild hair up our butts. Well, he did, and tore the rear end apart in the truck. And we come to find out that this thing has a
273. Ring and pinion.
That's a highway gear cruising. What is it?
Open diff.
Fourth gear, like 1,500 RPM at like 50?
About 60 mile an hour, fourth gear, about 1,500.
Big gear, big gear. So what we're doing is we're yanking out the 273s and putting in 373s. So we're getting a whole drive shaft rotation to tire rotation. It's going to change the way the truck arrives for sure. And this Ford limited slip unit that we got out of the poor old Fox. So we had to get the pinion shim off that because we're using the same rear end housing. We're taking the new bearings, old bearings off this, putting on new bearings, putting on a new bearing on the new pinion, bolting the new ring gear onto this, and then the rest will be at the house. So
The rest is just install.
let's do that. Back. Day 2, we're now at the house, rebuilding the rear end on the Smokems, working on pressing out the axle bearings. We're going to press in the new races, new bearings, all that good stuff. So watch us mess things up the entire time.
That one's not so easy. Wow.
Tighten that up to where you can use both hands.
God damn.
Gotta love trying to work on stuff in the rain. There it comes. Hey, all right.
Look at it ooze.
So, we were trying to use this rebar, go in through the tube, and hit the outside. But that wasn't working. So we YouTubed it, of course, YouTube certified. Found this guy, did it with this certain tool from AutoZone, so no copyright. I'm not sponsored by AutoZone. So we use this, just pop the bearing and seal out. And now the new ones, which are really odd, are a bearing and seal combo. Very interesting setup. If I can get it out of the box, maybe, hopefully. Aha, there we go. As you can see here, it's a one-piece unit. I've never seen this before. I'm sure you 8.8 guys know these, I guess, but I've never seen this before, but I've also never done an 8.8. So, bearing and seal combo, which honestly is pretty cool. It's a good idea. It simplifies it, but hopefully they're as easy to get out, and hopefully they stay in. We got the pinion set. Pinion turning torque to rotate is set at 24 foot-pounds of rotating torque. Set that, good to go. Spec is 16 to 28, so we put her almost in the middle. Now we're gonna wait for the rain to let up again. We got maybe some clear sky over there, maybe, hopefully. But
It looks like.
all we gotta do now is press in these new ones, And then carrier, which is right there with the new ring gear. And yeah. And while I'm at it, since we're waiting for the rain to stop, might as well show you guys the goods.
It's written in the stars. Close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your heart. If it's written in the stars, close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your heart. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh, 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 oh.
Boom. There she is. Our fresh Triple X 302 Windsor, fresh from the machine shop. We got our scat crank. And now this is the stroker crank, so it's the 3.4 inch stroke?
3.4, yeah.
3.4 inch stroke. I think we'll need to look at the box real quick. But she's already been 30 over? 40 over.
I believe they left it 30 over because those are 30 over pistons.
Okay, so we got a 4.03 bore, which is actually the same bore as the dig rigs. So just a little FYI, it's the same bore. He just has a much shorter stroke crank. That's why he has less cubic inch. But this thing's gonna scream. We have our freshly machined heads. They got brand new double springs. Valve job, all cleaned up, decked, all freshened up. Look at those beautiful valves and that flat head gasket surface. It's gonna go nice. And then we got our male rods, or maul pistons, and eagle rods, maul, Malaya, male, however you want to say it. We got our male pistons and eagle rods. There you go, right there. So these are going to be awesome. They are all forged. It's going to be a good combo. We got eagle right there. So
Tell them about the ladies.
hopefully we can get this together soon. We're trying to do the rear end now, so we'll probably save this for another day. And then we also got our Speedmaster single plane intake manifold. It is air gap style. Very nice piece. Has bungs for fuel injection and direct port nitrous injection if we want to. And then we have our custom comp cam. It's a hydraulic roller. What were the specs on this?
513 lift.
513 lift. Is it a lift split? Oh, there it is, right on the box.
Yep.
Alright, we got 513, and then our advised duration is 218, 224 with a 112 LSA, and then we got our advised duration is 270, 276. So this is going to be a really good cam, this setup. What was our RPM range on this? Was it 2,500 to 6,500 or 7,000?
It's 15 to 6, 25 to 60.
25 to 6,500. So he's going to have a little more RPM than I will. He'll be able to ride it out a little longer. And being that it's a stick shift truck, it's just going to make it that much more fun. You want to wind them out. That way you don't have to shift as much. But this has come out really nice. The bores are all real nice. Whole bottom end was spec'd by them over at Express Engines over in North DeLand. They balanced it, right?
It's balanced.
Or was it pre-balanced? I think they had to balance.
They balanced it.
So yeah, they pieced together a whole rotating assembly with the scat crank, eagle rods, and Molly pistons. So fully balanced. And we are ready to go on
They're
this.
estimating high high 10 to 1.
Probably 10 and a half, maybe 11.0, possibly, maybe 10 and 3/4. Who knows? But we're gonna find out when we fire her up eventually. All right, axle bearings pressed in. Right now we're about to set the carrier in. We're cleaning off the main caps. Other axle bearings pressed in. So if anybody wants a 4.9-inch
That one.
plate, so you can put some gears in it, right there. We don't have a 4.9-inch.
Nope. It was free.
Can't turn down free. Free 99. So this is our old stuff, actually partially from the Mustang, which is where the carrier came out of, the Fox body that we pulled the carrier out of. And then that's the old 272 gear, also a 272 gear on that carrier right there. That came out of the Mustang, that was in the truck. We are reusing the main caps out of the truck, not the ones out of the Mustang, because you want to not do that. So, if anybody wants an 8.8 carrier they can weld together, have at it. But we're going to go drop that in, clean that cover off real nicely. We'll break cleaning these off now. And we're going to set these stock shims in, original shims, for mock-up, see what the backlash looks like, and go from there. All right, we got our carrier in. We found our shims that we needed. We tried using the original shims, but since we changed carriers, it had way too much backlash. It had like 40 thousandths backlash. I mean, you could like physically turn it. Now, it's got a noise and you really can't see it. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit. Spec is 8 to 12 thousandths, and right now we're at 10, but these bolts are not torqued yet. So we're going to torque these down to 100 foot-pounds like the Ford manual says, and then we're going to remeasure it again. We're going to measure it in a couple different places and make sure we're in spec nicely. And then once we torque these down, axles are going back in, drums are going back on, covers going on, our center pins got to go in, and we'll be ready to rock and test drive this thing. Top her off with some fluid, bolt the drive shaft back on, and we're going to see how these 373s in this good old posi do. But as of right now, it's looking really good. We actually were able to use one of the shims from the Fox body, so we had a total of 553 of shims, and it was too much. This carrier is a tad bit wider than that open was. This shim was a 280 and this shim was a 273, so we found another one that was 260, so we took the 280 and put a 260 in, so we took 20 thousandths off the total, which then we were able to get it in, but we still didn't have enough on this side, and we were actually down a little too much for bearing preload. So then we took this 273 out and added the 280, so that brought us back up that 7 thousandths and took a total of 13 thousandths off. They both pressed in good, enough backlash, or enough preload for the bearings, and then now all we got to do is torque these down. Oh, and also do our contact pattern. You got to paint it and roll it over by hand, but we're looking really good, guys. I'm really excited. All right, so we got our drive contact right there. Start is right there, and it goes all the way across. It's not too deep, it's not too high, and then our coast side is just as pretty. So we are mint. I'm excited now because that came out way better than I thought it would. So now we're going to axles in, C-clips in, pin in. Down the road here, when this thing gets crazy and it gets tires put on it, we're going to need to do a C-clip eliminator to this thing, because it's going to break something if we don't. And we honestly are probably going to have to look at getting axles for this thing soon too, because The stock 28 splines are, so we're gonna have to look at maybe some Mosers or some Curries, but at least this will do it good for now.
For now, it'll have some fun.
Yeah. Before nitrous goes onto it, we're probably gonna need to do some stuff to this rear end. Maybe put a bracing kit on it, but that looks awesome. So we're gonna throw the axles in, put the pin in, cover, drive shaft, and go drive this sucker. So stay tuned. We got our full throttle. It's a Saturday.
Delicious.
So the beginning of this video started a month ago?
Yeah, about that.
A month ago.
About a month, yeah.
So we, as you can see in the beginning of this video, we put the limited slip in, and it was going to turn out great until we couldn't put the axles in. One small thing we forgot to look at was that Fox bodies in the 80s and 90s came with
2 different splits.
28 spline,
28, 31.
and all the trucks came with 31. We're stupid. It's fine.
We were a little bit dumb that night. We didn't think. We just said,
It's fine.
send it.
So we are going to pop the axles back out of this thing because there are no axles in it. The carrier's not even there. Did we put a carrier in it?
Huh?
We put the old open in it, didn't we?
Just to hold it, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna take it all back apart, but luckily it's not like fully in there. All we have to do is pull the old carrier out with no gear on it and pull the axles back out and change the splines. And we actually got, or you got upgraded clutches.
Upgraded clutches and gears, Yukon gears and clutches.
So should make that limited slip pretty good. Better than me just throwing an old limited slip in and then wondering why it doesn't work sometimes.
They go,
But-
wait, I'm going this way.
So we're gonna tear this thing down real quick and get it fixed the right way. Also, good old T5 goodness. Picked this thing up for what, $500?
500. Yeah.
$500. That's with the cross member and the drive shaft. Not that I don't know if that one will work, but we got a good old T5 with a short shifter. Got that pistol grip. No clutch though, because the clutch that was on it was pretty toast. So we're gonna give this thing a rebuild and beef it up a little bit, because as we all know, a stock T5 can handle about 350, and that's about it. Maybe
About
300.
About 350 horse. They handle up to about 400 torque,
But the way this guy drives,
the way I drive and the way this thing's in the clap, I'm just gonna go ahead and beat it up.
we need beef. So looking at doing a stage 2 with what was that company name?
Jigs.
No, the company that made the gears.
Oh.
I don't remember, but we're gonna beef it up. It's a stage 2 kit. It's supposed to hold like 6 and a half, 650 horse, 700 torque or something like that.
I'll tell you right here, because I got it right in my hands. 94, 95.
G-Force, that's who it was.
G-Force
Good old
transmission.
G-Force T5 kit. And there's the ability to pick 2 first gears. There's a 294 first gear and a 266 first gear.
Yeah, there
So
is.
we're we're thinking about going with the 294 first gear for a little bit more of a whole shot, since it's got 373 gears in it. Instead of having like a 410 or something in it. That way we can still put it in 5th and cruise on the highway and not have to worry. Unlike mine, where I put it in 3rd and go down the highway.
600 HP and 500 foot-pound of torque.
Okay.
And a 3,300 pound vehicle with drag radials.
So we may be pushing the limit of it a little bit, but
Yeah,
you know what? It's fine. We'll put some good fluid in there. Well, let's get this thing torn apart. All right, so we got our rear end apart, and we both said it when we took it apart. Thank God we did, because those are a little burnt, a little well done, if you know what I mean. So, which is great. We're gonna.
Someone's like well done. Someone's like medium rare.
This was definitely well done. But so we're gonna clean this up, brake clean the crap out of it, and then we're gonna put our new gears in. We got her all cleaned up, and doggo, chaos.
Yes.
Doing, bud? Don't put the camera on me. We got her all cleaned up, and then we got our new gear set right here. These are Yukon 31 spline with our new clutches and steels, new shims. So we're gonna put all this in. Comes with a new pin. We'll put all this in, and finally get her back on the road. Finally.
We're defeated.
See that? This little slice open.
Oh, that's right, dares.
We messed ourselves up this morning because I said it'll be easy. That's what happens. You don't say it's going to be easy because it never will be.
Don't say it's gonna be easy till the job's done.
Right, you say that was easy afterwards and after the test drive. That way it doesn't blow up on the test drive. So, we're running into the problem of we can't get the spider gears in because it's got too much shim. We take the shim out, and then there's too much play in the clutch packs, and then the limited slip is useless. So, we are now clearancing the spider gears.
Because we're doing it like men, though. Okay.
And then,
We're not letting spider gears turn us into boys. We're gonna do this brother fabrication style. You want it to work? We got ways.
that's going to be our new motto. Gallon and Williams fabrication. You need it done, we got a way. By the way, Full Throttle, if you ever see this, can you please sponsor us? That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Whole lot of America right there.
Absolutely. So, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a little bit of tooth off of right here and give us some more clearance. Because the issue is if we run too much shim to get it to touch, or to get it to bunch the clutch pack together, we can't get the spider gears in. There's it's just not enough room. But if we run less shim, these are actually hitting the case and causing too much play in the clutch packs. So we're going to machine these down real quick and see if we can do something. We've spent now 4 hours on this and have gotten nowhere. So you know it. So we're going to keep going. Well, what happened, Phil?
Everything. Everything happened.
So, this lovely gear set, sadly is not going to work unless we do some modifications. So as you can see here, the gear thickness is taller. So this distance is shorter, except for it's not. This height is shorter, but this distance is longer. So the issue we're having is on the inside here, those splines are hitting this and not giving us enough clearance to go in. We cannot even get our side gears in without, we just can't. We just can't get them in. No matter, even if we don't put any clutches or steels in, we can put both these gears in here and just try to put the side gears in. They still will not go in, so we just don't have enough clearance here. So what we might do is just keep cutting this down little by little, or we might try and take it somewhere and see if they will machine it down more for us. But that's our main issue. Is let's see, you'll be able to see it better here. So see that? Look at that distance difference is a lot, and then it's just so very different. So it kind of sucks. We can't get these in today, so we just buttoned up the diff for now. And then we got another sucker punch to the gonads.
The crank.
So we went to say, oh hey, so we can't get the rear end done, let's build up the motor. Well, we go to take off the main caps to put the motor together, and we find that the number 2 journal for the crank, the bearing journal, or the oil journal, is protruding a little bit, and it's made lines on the bearing. So that sadly's got to go get fixed. So we're going to take it down to the machine shop hopefully soon and get them to polish that to where it's flat.
First thing Monday.
First thing Monday, he says. So we now can't do anything. So we bagged up the engine, covered up some stuff, putting tools away, and sadly the Smokems is still chilling like a villain. Light it on fire. The Dangos, or the Dango. The Ram's just chilling, waiting on its best friend to come out. But hey, at least we got an old 5-speed transmission just waiting to go in. We got first, second, third, fourth, and if you ever need to grab fifth on the track, you got the wrong gear in. But so that's where we're at, sadly. So we're either thinking of going spool, but we got C-clip axles, so we're not sure if we want to do that. But I think we're just going to try and grind these down. I think that's what we're going to try and do first. And yeah, if that doesn't work, the sensor's going away, and we're just going to get a 9-inch. Screw it.
Sensor's going away anyways.
Sensor's going away anyways.
Anybody out there know anyone that wants a sensor? I got $5 grand.
Hey man, honestly, dope Sentra. I would buy it, but I don't need it. So
I don't need it.
not anymore, not with the job change, but
It's a good car though.
not bad at all.
Changed all
So,
day this weekend. And
That's it, folks. We'll see you next time.